Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's go to Kurukshetra and from there we'll go to Srirangam today. So, battlefield of Kurukshetra, 5000 years back, when this entire Yuddha began, or just about to begin. One side we have Kauravas, another side we have Pandavas. And at that time, Arjuna has a desire that I want to see who is there on the other side. And he instructs Krishna, Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapayam achyuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhu kaman avastita. So Arjuna is telling Krishna that, oh Krishna, please take my chariot between the two armies. I want to see who are there on the other side. And the scene when Krishna is taking Arjuna on the other side is described so beautifully in Srimad Bhagavatam. And you know who is remembering this scene? Obviously, the ones who were there on this side, on the side of Pandavas, couldn't see this scene because the Rath is moving towards Kauravas. So, a person on the side of Kauravas actually saw this scene and he is glorifying at the time of his death. He is meditating on this particular form at the time of his death. Who is that person? Bhishma Pitamaha. Bhishma Dev is standing on the other side and he, like a nice cameraman, he is recording the entire video that's coming. Krishna and Arjuna, they're coming towards him. And Bhishma Dev lying on the bed of arrows. He is remembering that form. I still remember that beautiful form when our Lord Krishna, as the chariot driver, in one hand he was having the stick, in the other hand he's having the rope which is tied to the horses. And he's making sounds from his mouth, giving direction to the horses. And Bhishma Dev is saying, I still remember that beautiful scene. And remembering this scene, Bhishma Dev leaves his body on the day of Uttarayan. That is Sankranti. So this scene, you all also remember. We'll come back to this scene again. Let's go to Srirangam. Srirangam is known for the beautiful temple of Sri Ranganath Swami. In the age of Kali, Lord Krishna appears in a form which is a hidden incarnation. And he is known as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Someday you all can have a detailed session on this. So you all can hear with Shastric reference that how Lord Krishna appears in the age of Kali to distribute the Sankirtan or distribute the holy name to everyone. But as of now, just we can have this thing in the mind, Lord Krishna appears as Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in our discussion, we call him as Lord or Mahaprabhu. Now, Lord Krishna, in this one very wonderful incarnation, he comes to Srirangam. He's on a South Indian tour and he stays at Srirangam for 4 months. And there he meets a very wonderful devotee. He is an illiterate Brahmana. And from him, today we're going to learn some lessons for our day-to-day life. I mean, specifically intense devotional service, how it should be done. And this Brahmana is so deep in his consciousness, so deep in his thought process, and so deep in his bhakti that he'll mesmerize everyone, I'm sure, with his devotional service. So everyone please hear carefully. I'm going to recite from Sri Chaitanya Chaitamrit, a very, very wonderful scripture. Se kshetra rahe ek Vaishnava Brahmana Devalay Asi Kare Gita Avartana. Se kshetra. Which kshetra? Srirangam. So in Srirangam, Eka Vaishnava Brahmana. There was one Vaishnava Brahman, there was one devotee. And this devotee, every day he would go to Devalaya. Which Devalaya? The same Devalaya which we all named just now, Sri Ranganath Swami's temple. He'll go there. And what he'll do after going there? Kare Gita Avartana. He'll recite the chapters of Gita. Now this is a very first point now which we can focus on. This Brahmana, he was going to Devalaya. In Sanskrit, alay means place. Okay, let's have a quiz. Sanskrit quiz. Tell me, what is a restaurant called in Sanskrit? Bhojanalaya. A place where you find bhojan. School? Vidyalaya. The place where you get vidya. Vidyalaya. Library? Pustakalaya or Granthalaya. And you know what? This world is called as? क्या बोले? Okay, so जहां हमें भोजन मिलता है उसको कहते हैं भोजनालय. जहां ग्रंथ मिलते हैं इसको ग्रंथालय. विद्या मिलती है उसको कहते हैं विद्यालय. So जहां दुख मिलता है उसे कहते हैं दुखालय. Oh, you all are more experienced and you're speaking from the heart. I can notice that. So similarly, when you say Devalaya, where you find Lord, that's Devalaya. You know, many times now in this modern age, people ask this question. क्या जरूरत है ये सब मंदिर वंदिर की क्या जरूरत है? What is the need of temple? भगवान तो सब जगह पर है. कण कण में भगवान है. And such dialogues you'll hear only from those who don't practice bhakti. कण कण में भगवान है. तो ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है? मंदिर में भी तो होंगे ना. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? Okay, one point I would like to highlight here is, see, one thing you have to understand, Devalaya or temple is that place where exclusive devotional service happens. देखिए, अगर घर में भी हम भक्ति करते हैं तो उसके साथ साथ बहुत सारी चीजें करते हैं. We do so many other things also, where we also become the center. But when it comes to temple, when it comes to Devalaya, center is always God. ऐसे कभी नहीं होगा center changes in the temple. And you'll never see there is something else happening in the temple. Either it will be Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Katha, it will be Puja that's happening, that's Yajna that is happening. You will never find anything else happening there. Therefore, naturally, the place becomes very potent. Spiritually, very potent. In fact, many atheistic people also go to temple. छुप छुप के जाते हैं, क्योंकि वो atheism वाला वो title निकल जाएगा ना. छुप छुप के जाते हैं and then they come back. We met one such atheistic person. Every day he would visit ISKCON Juhu temple. And he was asked, अरे you are atheist no? आप हर दिन मंदिर आते हैं यहाँ? I don't know, but I feel some difference when I come to this place. अच्छा लगता है यहाँ आके. ऐसे कैसा अच्छा लग रहा है? अरे, how are you feeling good? Automatically everyone will feel good because that place has that potency, because Lord is the center और एक ही चीज होता है वहाँ, that is devotional service. Therefore, Devalaya is a very, very important place in the entire setup of this entire creation. Without that, let me tell you, it's very, very difficult to sustain. In fact, one nice fact I would like to share. See, all these big temples that you see in South, huge gopurams and huge temples, including the Srirangam temple that we're discussing about. Kings would start building the temple. But in his own lifetime, he'll not be able to complete the temple. So his son would continue. Then his son would continue. ऐसे कहीं generations के बाद वो मंदिर बनता था. So the goal of that family of the kings would be just to build the temple. And guess what? The other people who are staying in the entire kingdom, their goal would be, will stay around the temple and serve the Lord. And again, another fact, in this Srirangam temple, out of 365 days, 350 days are festivals. 350 days of festival. पता नहीं बाकी 15 दिन क्यों छोड़ दिए, शायद preparation के लिए छोड़ दिए होंगे. So in this way we see Lord is the center. So anyone who says that Devalaya temple is not needed, नहीं, मतलब बुद्धि नहीं है फिर. I don't think you have much intelligence then. Yes? Because anyone who understands that this fact, that what happens in the temple and what is the potency of the temple, no one will deny the need of the temple, in the existence there. Another question, when we go to temple, what do? When we go to temple, we don't sit and gossip there for sure. Obviously, now people do whatever they want. I'm talking about the actual thing that we are supposed to do. So when we go to temple, बताइए क्या करना चाहिए? पूजा करनी चाहिए. और क्या करना चाहिए? भगवान का ध्यान करना चाहिए. और मेडिटेशन करना चाहिए. मतलब मंदिर में बैठ के ऐसा मेडिटेशन करो कि किस पे मेडिटेशन कर रहे हो और कौन मेडिटेशन कर रहा है ये भी ना ध्यान में रहे. करेक्ट ना? वाह वाह, या बोल रहे हैं. We're supposed to meditate on the Lord. We're supposed to meditate on the Lord. One thing that is very, very important to note here. See, when we go to temple, two things, are expected. And the remnants of that we will see today, even today. When people go to temple, especially in South India, I have seen this culture. North mein kam dekha gaya, but South mein I have seen this very much. People go to temple and they sit for 2 minutes. And people say, nahi, baithna chahiye. Shubh, shubh. Shubh hota hai. It's good, it's auspicious to sit. But you know the fact why people would sit before? It will not be 2 minutes, for sure. They would sit for a good hour or so. Because in the temple, after taking darshan of the Lord, the next thing that the visitors would get, the devotees would get, is Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan. कथा और कीर्तन सुनने के लिए बैठते थे. अभी बेचारे के पास कथा कीर्तन है नहीं तो 2 मिनट बैठते फिर उठ के चले जाते हैं. You see? So some remnants are remaining here and there as of now, when it comes to the culture. But when you go to temple, this is what we are supposed to do. This is what Shastras say. The first one is serve and glorify the Lord. We can serve in whatever ways, by offering some flowers, by offering some fruits, whatever, and glorify the Lord, in various ways, by remembering some pastimes, remembering some leelas, or reciting some prayers from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. And the best way, agar koi bole ki, I don't know Sanskrit, I don't know all these intricacies of Shastras, no problem. The best way when we go to the temple is sit there and chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now someone might say, प्रभु जी देखिए आपके लिए टेंपल में रहना आसान है, आपको क्या है? Lekin we have so many other responsibilities to do. Okay, so why not take this idea? Why don't you bring temple home? Why not make the home into temple? Then you are also living in a temple. And how to do that? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, he gives 4 principles to convert a home into temple. First one, chant Hare Krishna every day. Second, basic worship should be offered to the Lord. जैसे 5 items are offered to the Lord, basic, जिसको 10 मिनट लगेगा. Gandha, sandalwood pulp. Pushpa means flowers. Dhoop, incense, agarbatti, yes. Gandha, Pushpa, Dhoop, Deep, Diya, ghee lamp, and Naivedya, food. Yes, it can be some fruits or it can be some sattvic ahar that you can cook and offer. So if we just do this, this is the third thing. Now second thing, offer basic worship. Third thing, specifically it is given, offer food to Krishna. That becomes prasad, and honor that. That also, has an impact. And the final thing, everyone in the family can come together and discuss Srimad Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. जैसे एक श्लोक पढ़ सकते हैं साथ में बैठ के. Just by doing these 4 activities. What are the 4 activities? First, chant Hare Krishna. Second, offer basic worship. Third, yes. So prasad बोलना नहीं, वो सबसे important होता है. Yes. Offer food except prasad. And fourth, come together and discuss Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam, just one verse. Hardly it will take 5 minutes, and that home will convert into a temple. And you'll see that same ambience that you get in temple at home. Therefore, Lord Krishna, when he was asked by Narada, where do you reside, Baba? Tell me, where do you reside? At that time, Lord Krishna is telling, Naham Tashtami Vaikunthe. I don't reside in Vaikuntha. Are? You don't reside in Vaikuntha? Maybe you might be residing in the hearts of yogis then. Yoginam Hridayeshuva. No, I don't reside there also. So where do you reside? Tatra Tishtami Narada Yatra Gayanti Madhbhakta. I reside in that place where my devotees come together and glorify me. And this is what we are doing here today in the house of Rahul and Ruchi. They're coming together and doing what? Kirtan and Katha. And that converts the entire energy of the house and gives that spiritual potency in that particular place. So either we regularly go to temple or bring temple home. But this Brahmana that we are talking about, Here it is said, Se Kshetra hai Eka Vaishnava Brahman, Devalaya Asi Kare, Gita Avartana. He is going and chanting Gita. Okay, so how many verses is he chanting? Last year at the same time, I was invited by Brahma Kumaris to give a session in their place. So along with me, 2 more speakers were invited. A person who spoke before me, he was telling, ऐसा है ना कि वो कुरुक्षेत्र के युद्ध भूमि पर भगवान कृष्ण के पास ज्यादा टाइम नहीं था, तो थोड़े श्लोक वो बोले, बाकी सब व्यासदेव ने लिख दिया. बोले क्या बोल रहे हैं? You defy the entire existence of Gita by saying this. My hands were itching, but I thought, no, I'm in a different organization. I should just be quiet. He said that. He said that. So what was this Brahman doing? And here it is said, Ashtadasha dhyaya pade ananda aveshe ashuddha padena loka kare upahase. So when he's going there, he's reciting Gita. He's not reciting few verses here, and it is said, Ashtadasha adhyaya. Ashtadasha means 18 chapters. He's reciting all the 18 chapters. And you know how he was reciting? Ananda avesha. He was very happy. Very happily reciting. But there was one problem with his recitation. Hear this carefully, everyone. Ashuddha padena. Now when he was reciting, it was ashuddha. Ashuddha basically means improper. Improper means his pronunciation of Sanskrit was not proper. Once Srila Prabhupada was in Jaipur with his disciples, when the ISKCON movement started. So when he got his Western disciples to India, so Jaipur there was a program. And many people would say that, hey, your foreign disciples don't know any Sanskrit shloka and all that. So Prabhupada was there on the stage and he called his female disciple. Her name was Kaushalya. And then Prabhupada asked, you sit here. She sat. And Prabhupada said, now you will see my lady disciple will recite entire Ezo Upanishad shlokas. There are 19 shlokas in that. And for your information, Kaushalya Mataji knew only 6. And then when Prabhupada said this, she was fearful. Abhi kya hoga? Now my spiritual master has told everyone that I'm going to recite, and then she started. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. And she went on and on and on. 6th shloka she is chanting. Just put yourself in her shoes and try to imagine her tension. And she ended the 6th shloka and Prabhupada said, enough. Enough. I hope everyone knows that she knows all the shlokas. And she was like, thank you Krishna, thank you so much, thank you Prabhupada. But still one person got up from the crowd and he said, she recited the shloka but her pronunciation was not proper. You know what Prabhupada said? Her pronunciation of Sanskrit was not proper, but her renunciation is proper, I bet. One devotee was sharing this. His father invited a Panditji for doing a Ganesha Homa. Everything was set very nicely, Yagya Kund is set and everything is set. And then he took the matchbox. And then from his pocket he removed something. He removed Ganesh Bidi. So before Ganesh Homa, he wanted to smoke Ganesh Bidi. He removed that and then he lit his Bidi. And with the same matchstick which he lit his Bidi, he lit the Yagya Kund also. And after smoking, then he did the Yagya, perfect recitation of the shlokas. What is the use? What is the use? Your pronunciation might be perfect, but what is the use? Your renunciation is not perfect. It's not. How will you please Krishna? How will you please the Lord? Not possible. Therefore, a very important thing to note is that the bhava is very, very important when we are doing devotional service. I had shared this in one of the class. This was 2018, my visit to Vrindavan Dham in the month of Kartik. And I met some Chinese devotees. I don't know how many classes I have remembered this. Somehow, I cannot forget that scene. In Chinese language, what I heard was they don't have R. अभी देखिए कृष्ण र आता है उसमें, राम र आता है. So I was trying to communicate with them. Now उनको English आता है, ना मुझे Chinese आता है. हिंदी तो दूर की बात, there's no question. There was one devotee was knowing English in that crowd. And then somehow we were communicating. And then I said, okay, chalo, there's no use of talking. There's one thing common between you and me, and that is the Mahamantra. Can you please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra with your entire group? And the entire group, with full devotion, they chanted, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Now, I was thinking, kisko bula rahe log? Ram and Krishna? Is it really? Hare? But then do you think that Krishna is there in any? I don't think you're calling me. You might be calling some other person. No, Krishna is Bhavagrahi. In fact, initial days when Prabhupada gave the Mahamantra to the Western people, so how is Hare spelled? H-A-R-E. You know how they started chanting? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. But then one thing is very clear from the Shastra, the Puranas very clearly describe. Murkho vadati Vishnaye, dhiro vadati Vishnave, ubhayam tu samam punyam bhavagrahi janardana. Ones who don't know Sanskrit, they might say Vishnaye namaha. But the ones who know Sanskrit, they very well know how to call out the name of Vishnu, and it has to be said as Vishnave namaha. But this shloka says you call as Vishnaye or Vishnave, Ubhayam tu samam punyam. Lord is going to listen to both of them. Why? Because he is Bhavagrahi Janardhana. He knows whom we are calling. Such amazing thing. But this Brahmana, he was reciting the shlokas of Gita, but kya kare? Ashuddha padena. His pronunciation was not proper. And in this world, people just wait for you to do a mistake. Thoda gossip ke liye thoda to kuch masala chahiye na life mein. One mistake and then we become the talk of that gossip. And same thing happened. Ashuddha padena loka kare upahase. All the other Brahmanas who were there were perfect in their recitation of verses of Bhagavad Gita. They started doing his upahas. It means they started laughing at him. They started criticizing him. Next shloka it says, Keha hase keha ninde, taha nahi mane. Some people were laughing, some people were criticizing. Arey dekho isko nahi aata hai Sanskrit, fir bhi chapad kar raha hai. Look at him, he's doing show off. What sort of Brahman he is? I'm talking about 500 years back. It made a lot of sense at that time because people were supposed, if you're a Brahman, then you're supposed to know. You're supposed to know the Sanskrit language. You're supposed to know the scriptures. Abhi ka Brahman, theek hai, koi baat nahi. You have thread. And if you want to drink alcohol and meat, just remove that, hang it somewhere, eat, and then go take bath and then put across. And then say, I am a Brahman. Yes. I'm not talking about Dongi Brahmanas like that. At that time, people were expected. And the other Brahmanas who were there, they were criticizing him. They're criticizing what sort of person you are. Keha hase keha ninde taha nahi mane. But this Brahmana who was there, taha nahi mane, he was least bothered about what people around are saying. One thing which Shastras have clearly said, when you start marching on the path of bhakti towards the Lord, always remember, upahas will happen and we will be the object of upahas. People will laugh at us. People will criticize us. And when we start doing bhakti, they will say, Arey sab pata tha. हर शनिवार के पार्टी में देखे हैं तुझे अभी बड़ा भक्ति कर रहा है. Literally, people will find faults and they will say, chalo, we will also see how long you will continue your Hare Krishna. And literally it happens. And I have at least noticed this, when someone starts chanting Hare Krishna, one round, even not irregularly also, family members at home, they expect that you are fully transformed Paramhamsa Sadhu. मतलब आपका पूरा शुद्धिकरण हो गया है. You shouldn't be angry, you shouldn't be lusty, you shouldn't be greedy, you should be fully fixed in your bhakti. I'm sure many of you might have experienced this. पता नहीं कितने लोग को गाली पड़ी होगी. At least when I started my journey, and I was a very, very short-tempered person. So मैं मंदिर से आता था, and then some mistake here and there, something happens at home, and I just blast at my family members. And my mother would say in a very sarcastic tone, "Oh, looks like ISKCON people teach all this in their pravachan." And then at times she would also say that I think you can stop going to all this pravachan and all. I think for you it will not work. What is the use of you chanting Hare Krishna? Har din to baith ke karta आधा घंटा. At that time I would chant 4 rounds. Har din to, what is the use of that? Upahas will happen. But you know what? A devotee doesn't stop his journey towards the Lord. Arey koi kuch bhi kahe. People will keep speaking, no? I remember this one story. A story of father, son and a donkey. Father, son and donkey. They were going. अभी ऐसा था कि donkey was just going with them and father and son are walking. You know what? People around they started saying, hey, look at these two foolish people. Donkeys, they're still there walking. Now the father heard this gossip, that was rumor that was going around. So the father said, okay, let us both of us sit on this. Both of them sat on the donkey. And now they are going towards the destination. Then a few people again started talking. Look at these people, so very cruel. Mooka prani, it cannot speak. So they're doing so much of atrocious activity by both of them sitting on it. Oh. Then after that, the father got down and only son was there on the donkey. And then other people started saying, look at the son, so arrogant he is. His old father is walking and the son is sitting. Then the father said, you get down, I'll sit. And then after that, the other people started talking. This young boy is walking and the old father is here. He's not understanding. The father is sitting, he is mature. He should be walking and the child should be sitting. Then finally, the father got frustrated, son got frustrated. You know what they did? They took a stick, they tied the donkey to the stick and they started carrying the donkey. And what do you think what people might have said? People will talk for anything and everything in this world. Therefore, I always say, when it comes to devotees, when it comes to practicing bhaktas, don't care about what others say. Just march on this very, very wonderful path of devotional service. And this is what this person was doing. Taha nahi mane. But then, there's one very important quality that I would like to highlight here. Avishta haya Gita pade anandita mane. Avishta pade Gita. Please hear this carefully. A very important element of our sadhana. What do you mean by sadhana? Sadhana means those devotional activities that we do every single day. Repeatedly we do. Every day. That's called sadhana. And what was the Brahmana sadhana? What was he doing when he was going to temple? Recitation of Gita. All 18 chapters. But how he was doing that? That is given here. Avishta haya Gita pade anandita mane. He was completely absorbed in what he was doing. Completely absorbed in the recitation of Gita. You know, many times I hear people saying, Prabhuji, hum ye jap वगैरह कर रहे, pravachan में भी आ रहे, but I don't see that change in myself. So the question comes here, the sadhana that you're doing, is your man avishta? Are you absorbed in doing that sadhana? If yes, then surely there will be change. And look at the first thing that is happening with the Brahmana. He's so absorbed. He's so absorbed that what people are talking about him around, he was least bothered, he was least affected. Such an important thing. Such an important thing. And I'm sure all the parents here, or maybe we can talk about our own selves. The summer vacation that we used to have, early in the morning we go out and then play all around, come back in the evening and get nice beatings. But that absorption that was there, in playing cricket or football when you're out in the vacation, that absorption was so great. Hunger was not troubling at that time, even thirst was not troubling at that time. Just absorbed, completely absorbed. I see some of the heads nodding, completely absorbed. If the same absorption is there in our sadhana bhakti that we're doing every day, trust me, What Brahmana was experiencing, we will also experience. Anandita Mane, very blissfully, he was able to recite the shlokas of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Very blissfully he was doing his sadhana, even when people all around, they were looking at him, pointing at him and laughing. Arey dekho ye pagal. He does not know how to chant. Hey, look at him, he does not know how to pronounce. Just imagine you are sitting here and everyone is there around you and all of them are laughing at you. बैठेंगे वहां. We'll run away from that place. इनसे ना भक्ति करनी है, ना इनका association चाहिए, मंदिर में तो बिल्कुल नहीं जाना. But this person was not affected. It's very good, very easy to give motivational talk saying, don't get affected with what people talk around. That's just a motivational talk. But how to do that? This Brahmana is teaching us. This Vaishnava Brahmana is teaching us. Avishta Mane. When we are absorbed in the sadhana that we are doing, then we will not get affected. Okay, what happened after that? What was happening to him? Pulakashru kampasveda yavata pathana dekhi anandita haila mahaprabhura mana. Now this person was reading Gita and he was experiencing higher level of spiritual bliss to such an extent. Pulaka, his hair on the body was standing on end. You understand what do I mean by that? When you're extremely happy, goosebumps. When you hear some exciting news, you get goosebumps. Ashru, asu, tears from the eyes. There are two types of tears. One are called as hot tears, other called as wet tears. Sorry, cold tears or cool tears. When we are really distressed and irritated, frustrated, when the tear comes, that's hot. And when we are extremely happy and when tears come from the eyes, that is cold. You all can check for yourself. Yes. And here, this ashru was the ashru of happiness, ananda. Kampa, his entire body was shivering out of happiness. Sweda, perspiration was there on his body out of happiness. Ecstasy. Now these are symptoms of ecstasy. And now these symptoms are coming just by reading Gita. Many times, people have misconception. नहीं गीता तो है लेकिन और भी उपनिषद पढ़ने चाहिए और भी थोड़ा हायर लेवल का बुक पढ़ना चाहिए. Let me tell you, if you perfect Gita, that is enough. This person is a case study. No need of any other Upanishad. There is no need of any other Shastra. This is enough. And this person is proving as a case study. Just study Bhagavad Gita properly. How? Avishta Mane, Anandita Mane. Naturally, we will experience the higher bliss. And this is what we see here. So the first lesson that, if the entire pastime till now that we have learned is, when we go to temple, what are we supposed to do? Chant. We can glorify the Lord. This is the first thing. Second thing which I highlighted in our discussion till now is people might speak ill about us, but we should be least bothered and just carry on with our activities. And the third thing that we highlighted was Avishta Mana. That is, sadhana should be done with absorption, complete absorption. Now here we see when this Brahmana was having these different symptoms, he was so happy, he was absorbed in his sadhana. So at that time, Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna himself was visiting that place. And looking at this Brahmana, so happy, doing the sadhana, it is said, Dekhi Anandita Haila Mahaprabhura Mana. Looking at that happy devotee, Lord became happy. One analysis let's try to do here. So when we are doing sadhana, when we are doing devotional service, you will see that the goal of that is to please the Lord. There's no other goal apart from this. When we are doing bhakti, this is the only goal. That's it. Anything that we do in devotional service, the only goal is I want to please Sri Radha and Krishna. That's it. And it is described in the Shastra, when the Lordships are pleased, naturally the devotee feels that happiness within. And one of the analogies that Srila Prabhupada gives here to understand this concept is, when you see in the mirror and decorate yourself, you see the reflection also getting decorated? Everyone? कि कुछ अलग होता है, इधर earring पहन रहे हो और वहाँ earring निकल रहा है, ऐसे कुछ होता है? Earring पहन रहे हो तो earring यहाँ भी पहना जाएगा. Whatever makeup you are doing, you can see that same in the mirror as well. So it is said the original person is the Lord and we are his reflection. So when he is decorated, when he is happy, when he has a smile on his face, the reflection will also have the smile. It means when he gets the pleasure, even the devotee who is serving will also feel that happiness, he will also feel the pleasure. Therefore, the key to happiness, that people speak about is this: serve the Lord for His pleasure. When He is pleased, we will be pleased. Simple. There's no need to think about anything else apart from this. And all the ones who are doing the regular sadhana, I'm sure you'll be experiencing that for sure. Therefore, this is the next thing, the fourth thing. When we execute bhakti happily, Lord is pleased. When He is pleased, we become more happy. And this is what was happening. This Brahmana was happily reciting Gita, and looking at that happy Brahmana, the Lord was pleased, and Lord was pleased, so the Brahmana was becoming more happy. Okay, moving ahead. What next? Now, Lord goes there as if He does not know why He is doing this activity. Lord goes there and is asking. What is asking? Mahaprabhu puchila tare, shuna mahashay. Oh Mahashay, oh devotee, oh great soul, tell me, kona artha jani tumar eta sukha hai. Hey, what is that giving you so much of happiness when you're reading Gita? What is so great that is given in Gita? कोई joke लिखा है क्या? What is that that is making you smile? What is that so adventurous that is giving you so much of quivering of the body and goosebumps and all that? What is happening? And then Vipra kahe, the Brahmana said. What did Brahmana say? Murkha ami, shabdhartha na jani. So the Vipra, the devotee, he's saying, the Brahman is saying, Ami murkha. Yeah, I'm illiterate. I'm foolish. Shabda artha na jani. This meaning of these verses and all I don't know. Let me confess. But then he says, Shuddha Ashuddha Gita Padi Guru Agya Mani. So if the Lord is asking, but then what is the need of you reciting this Shuddha Ashuddha Gita? Why are you reciting, sometimes properly, sometimes improperly, and continuing the recitation of Gita? Why are you doing that? And then he says, Guru Agya Mani. Because my Guru has told every day you should recite Gita going to Devalaya. Let's focus and analyze this statement now. Very, very important. There are 64 limbs of bhakti. Requesting all of you to pay attention on these technical details that I'm speaking now. There are 64 limbs of bhakti. And the first 5 limbs are the basic limbs of bhakti. And these 5 limbs, when we embrace, we can advance in bhakti very quickly, very fast. What are these 5 limbs? The first one, Sri Guru Padashraya. We'll have a quiz after this. You have to remember the Sanskrit words. ऐसे किसी को उठा के Guru Padashraya, Sri Guru Padashraya. What does that mean? Identifying the Guru and taking a shelter. That is called as Guru Padashraya. Okay, he is my Guru. First thing. Second, Sri Krishna Diksha Shikshadi. So we take a shelter and we receive instructions from him. This is the second thing. Second basic element. We are talking about 5 basic elements, no hi-fi things. Usme second basic element is Sri Krishna Diksha Shikshadi. We take shelter of Guru and we receive instructions from him. The third one is Preeti Purvaka Guru Seva. Then you serve the Guru. You identified your Guru. You took his shelter and received instruction from him. And then you do his seva. How do you serve Guru? Love. Preeti. But you go and then you give. No. Then how to do Preeti? Devotion, okay.
Follow what he says.
Okay, follow the principles of Guru, yes. Very wonderful. So Guru gave the instruction. So now, what the disciple is supposed to do? Serve the Guru. How serve the Guru? By following the instruction. See, sadhus don't need anything. Kya denge unko? What will we go and do service to them? The only service that they expect is, you call me Guru, so you follow the instruction that is given. That is service. This is the third thing. That is Preeti Purvaka Guru Seva. What is the next one? Sadhu Marganushaya. It means, now Guru is there. Tell me, what will Guru speak? What is the content of his talk? Bhakti. So is he speaking from his own mind? What is he speaking then? Shastra and?
His Guru.
Correct. The previous acharyas. Right? So in the lineage, all the previous acharyas who were there, all that they have spoken, the same thing is repeated by the current acharya, the current guru. Okay. Now, the guru helps the disciple to follow the previous acharyas by giving them proper direction. So he tells, do this, don't do this. This is what the previous acharya said, do this. This is not proper. Previous acharyas didn't say to do like this. This is what the guru will do. That is sadhu marganu sarah. This is what is said. Or sadhu vartamanu sadhu vartamanu vartanam. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas under the guidance of the guru. And the fifth one is sadharma pricha. See, till now the guru was giving instruction. Tu ye kar, tu wo kar. After some time, guru stops giving instruction. So now the devotee goes and then asks, Guru Maharaj, oh my mentor, do you have some instructions for me? For what do you need instructions? So that I can advance in my spiritual life. Now comes the inquiry. How can I advance faster? Where am I missing? Am I missing out on something? Where am I missing? Then we start asking questions. These are the 5 basic elements. First, Guru, Padashraya, that is identifying the Guru first. Second, Shri Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam. What is that? You take shelter of the Guru and you receive the instructions from him. Third, Preeti Purvaka Guru Seva. Serve the Guru by following the instruction. Fourth, Sadhu Vartamanu Vartanam. Following the previous acharyas under the guidance of the Guru. And finally, the last one, Sadharma Pricha. What do you ask the Guru now? How can I progress? Please tell me, how can I progress? These are the 5 elements. But you will see in the age of Kali, these 5 elements are missed out. हम वही करेंगे जो हमारा मन कहेगा. ये गुरु वगैरह ये सब हमसे नहीं होगा. हमारा मन ही हमारा गुरु है. And then many people, when they come to me, they say, मुझे अंदर से आता है. प्रभु जी अंदर से आता है. क्या? उल्टी. अंदर से क्या आता है आपको? क्या आता है अंदर से? Many times people come and ask, they say, मुझे अंदर से आवाज आ रहा है. क्या करूं मैं? वो गैस की गोली खा लीजिए. अंदर से आ रहा है. सिर्फ बोलो अंदर से आ रहा है. In our current situation, we should remember, अंदर से कुछ नहीं आएगा. अंदर से कुछ नहीं आएगा in the current situation. जो भी मिलना है वो बाहर से मिलना है. And that is these 5 elements that I spoke. Therefore, it is called the first 5 limbs of bhakti. उसके बाद बाकी limbs होगा. Then after that, the rest 59, then we'll be able to execute. It's very difficult, very difficult. Therefore, what is the importance of Guru in life? What did Guru do to this Brahmana? Guru Agyamani. Guru gave an instruction. What was the instruction? Every day you read Gita where? Going to the temple. How many chapters of Gita? 18. Ashtadasha, 18. Therefore, the first thing that the Guru does is he gives the sadhana what to do in day-to-day life. Every day what sadhana should be done, Guru will tell us. हम decide नहीं करते उसको. Guru will tell us what sadhana to do. Sometimes, when, Prabhupada has told chant Hare Krishna on beats. Sometimes I meet so many people and they say that, Prabhu जी अंदर ही अंदर चलता रहता है. 24/7 चलता रहता है. Oh really? अंदर ही अंदर चलता रहता है. One thing I have to understand, अंदर ही अंदर कुछ नहीं चलेगा. ये अंदर ही अंदर ना बहुत टाइम के बाद आता है बाबा. ऐसा नहीं होता. अंदर ही अंदर कभी चलना चाहिए पता है? When we are on the deathbed and you're not able to speak, तभी अंदर ही अंदर चलना चाहिए. लेकिन अभी अगर अंदर ही अंदर चल रहा है तो आगे नहीं चलेगा अंदर ही अंदर. It will not happen. Internally, we will not be able to intensify our meditation if our external practice is not proper. Not possible. See, one thing, just now before coming here, one of the Gita course instructor, he called me, one of my students who is going to give a class now. He called me and he was asking me that someone challenged him saying, ये महाभारत रामायण सब किसने देखा है? I don't believe in all this. Then this course instructor was asking me that Prabhuji, how to answer this question? Then I told him, just बोलो ज़्यादा शाना मत बन. Don't act too smart. See, the problem that is currently there is, when people act over smart, they defy the verdict given by the previous acharyas. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. He's a pagal the kya? Mad people are what they are. They have given a verdict. They have stamped saying all these things are authentic. These Puranas, Upanishads, Gita, Bhagavad, all these are authentic. नहीं नहीं, अभी किसने देखा है वो सब? अभी फिर equal to MC square, why do you believe? किसने देखा है? अब किए एक्सपेरिमेंट? नहीं नहीं, आइंस्टाइन ने कहा था. Why you like his hairstyle, so you believe him? Why do you believe? Hey, but why do you believe Einstein? Only because he has given equal to MC square. You never did that processing to understand and verify that. You never did that. Why you believe him? No, he is the authority in science. Similarly, these acharyas are authority in spirituality. They have given verdict, chupchap, believe. नहीं करना है believe तो निकलो. Simple. लेकिन ज़्यादा शान पट्टी नहीं करना चाहिए saying, oh, I don't believe, किसने देखा है? कोई बात नहीं. अगले जन्म में देख लेना. वैसे भी you're stuck, you'll be stuck. There is no question of getting liberation. Therefore, this is a very important point that we shouldn't act independent in a spiritual life. Sadhana is decided by the Guru, and we have to do the sadhana as told by the Guru without mixing our masala into it. ऐसे करना चाहिए, वैसे करना चाहिए. What is told, that has to be done. So chanting on the beads is what is recommended in Shastra by the Guru. It has to be done like that. There is no question. अंदर ही अंदर, बाहर ही बाहर, घूमते फिरते, कार में यहाँ वहाँ. No. Second one, he will engage us in the service of the Lord. He will tell us, ये सेवा करो भगवान के लिए. He will tell, every day do this. It will be part of sadhana only, but exclusively doing something for the Lord. And the third one, he will guide us what to do next. See, in spiritual life, sometimes you'll feel we are stuck. क्या करना आगे? What to do next? Then the Guru will tell, see, this is the place where you're not doing proper. इसको थोड़ा correct करो, फिर उसको, then move ahead. Don't worry, I'm there with you. Go ahead. This is the importance of a Guru. And this person took the instruction of the Guru. Guru Agya Mani. What was the Guru Agya? Go to temple every day and read Gita, all 18 chapters. Doesn't matter. Shuddha, Ashuddha, doesn't matter. You pronounce properly, doesn't pronounce properly, doesn't matter. Read every day. And look at him. Life and soul ho gaya iska instruction. Guru's instruction became his life and soul. Every day he was doing. Even when everyone was laughing at him. Same thing we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada got one instruction from his Guru. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada that you are an educated man. You should preach in English in the Western world. But this became his life and soul. This was the final thing that was always his meditation. And this is what he did. He accomplished the mission that his Guru gave him. So the instruction that comes from the Guru is life and soul. And here we see that he was doing that. So now the question is, okay, Guru ka instruction is following, but why is he feeling so happy? When he is reading Gita, why is he feeling so happy? Do you all remember we discussed something about Kurukshetra before we started the class? Now that will come here. He says, Vipra is speaking, the Brahmana is speaking, the devotee is speaking. He says, Arjunera rathe Krishna haya rajudhara vasi ache hate totra shamala sundara. So the Brahmana is saying, oh Mahaprabhu, whenever I pick up this Gita in my hand, this cover page, my entire consciousness is get absorbed and engaged in that. And when I remember this, that my Lord, Arjunera rathe Krishna haya rajudhara. So what I am seeing is, so he is also seeing the video. Who else saw the video? Who recorded the video? Bhishma. And who replayed the video at the time of death? Bhishma. And this is what this Brahmana is also doing. What is he doing? He is doing this very, very important thing. That is, he is remembering that scene. And what was that scene all about? That Krishna is sitting on the chariot of Arjuna, and in the hand he is holding what? Rajju, ropes, which is tied to the horses. And then he's saying, Bosi ache hate totra shamala sundara. This Shama Sundar, this beautiful personality, is sitting on the chariot, and I'm looking at his beauty. In Brahma Samhita, a very beautiful shloka comes, which describes the beauty of the Lord. Venam kvanantam aravinda dalayat aksham Barhavatam samasitam buddha sundarangam Kandarpakotika maniya vishesha shobham Govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. This particular shloka says that Lord is holding flute in his hand. His complexion is that of freshly rain-filled cloud. He's looking very, very beautiful to such an extent that many, many cupids are fainting looking at his beauty. And this Brahmana is remembering that. And he is saying that this person is sitting, Krishna is sitting on the Rath of Arjun, he is holding the rope in the hand. And what else is Krishna doing? Arjunera kahite chena hita upadesha Tare dekhe hai mora mana ananda avesha. Remembering this scene, O Lord, remembering this scene where Krishna is sitting on the chariot, holding the reins of the chariot, and looking behind and instructing Arjun about the principles of life, this scene is something that is attracting my heart. And whenever I read any shloka of Gita, this is what I remember. And remembering this, I'm not able to control. I'm getting goosebumps on my body. My body is quivering. No, my eyes are getting wet. This is what is happening with me. This spiritual perfection. So whenever we read Gita, the goal is to understand the Lord. And here this Brahmana is meditating on Bhakta Vatsalya of the Lord. It's very clear Lord is ready to do anything for his devotees. Anything. To such an extent that that person who is served by many, many Lakshmis, he is becoming the chariot driver of his devotee just to serve the devotee. Second example, he washed the feet of his devotee with his tears. Who was that? Sudama. In the Rajasuya sacrifice, when so many devotees were coming, so many Brahmanas were coming, Krishna took the service. Everyone had different service. Duryodhan's service was that Yudhishthira Maharaj will receive gifts because many people will come in the sacrifice. Duryodhan's job was कि gifts लेके बाजू में रखना और count करना सब. Dushasan's service was prasadam serving. जो भी आ रहा है उनको भोजन खिलाना. That was his service. But when all services were distributed, Krishna took the service of washing the feet of the people who are entering that Rajasuya sacrifice. Can you imagine that? So Krishna is ready to do anything for his devotees, ready to do anything for his devotees. Remembering that this personality, this Brahmana, he is crying. He is understanding the truth that how much Lord is doing for his devotees. Now when this was heard by Mahaprabhu, what happened? Yavat pado tavat pana tara darashana ei lagi Gita patha na chhade moravana. He's saying that whenever I'm reading Gita, this scene is just getting replayed in my consciousness. But if this state if we attain, no, I think we're successful in our life. It means our Gita study is done, where we understand the Lord's affection for his devotees and how much he does for each and every one of us. One point which I would like to highlight before I wind up this entire katha. Every single day, he is that personality who's there in our heart and he inspires to do various different activities. He is the one who manifests, he comes personally and he speaks Gita to all of us. जो अपने पास time नहीं पढ़ने के लिए. Yes. Only for us he is given. But then कई लोग कहते हैं कि नहीं वो अर्जुन के लिए था प्रभु जी आपको पता नहीं है. वो अर्जुन के लिए था, अर्जुन को बोले हमारे लिए थोड़ी था वो. It is for us. And he comes in the form of Guru as well. He manifests as Guru. And through Guru he speaks. Those 5 points that we discussed about the Guru, that's what happens. He's doing all that. And not just this. Many times people say, प्रभु जो 10 अवतार का वो sequence बताइए तो ऐसे क्यों पहले ये पहले वो evolution है क्या? Species evolution? From Matsya avatar to whatever. It's not just Dasha avatar, they're infinite avatars. And you know why there are infinite avatars? Just to serve his devotees. Bas. Only for that. So how much Lord is doing for all of us. Therefore, I always say that when we get this opportunity to come together like this and hear about the Lord and chant his glories, in front of the Lord we should commit saying, Itna kuch hamare liye kiya, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn, to serve you back. By following the instruction that you're given in Gita. This is what a devotee can do max. इसके अलावा क्या कर सकते हैं बोलिए? What can we do? We cannot do anything else apart from this. Chant his holy names, glorify him. And उसमें भी बताइए कि किसका फायदा है? When we chant his holy names, glorify him, what happens? we नहीं भगवान का ego satisfy हो रहा है ना. We become purified. So when we glorify the Lord, you know what is happening? We are getting purified. All that burden of contamination that is there, which is creating problem in our life, that gets removed. So when this person said all this Brahmana spoke all this, at that time, Mahaprabhu, Lord himself, he said, Prabhu kahe, Gita पाठे तुम्हारा ए अधिकार तुम्ही से जानह ए गीतार अर्थ सार. You know what Mahaprabhu told him? You have actually read Gita. सोचिए, if the author gives a stamp that you are the only person who has understood Gita, कितना अच्छा लगेगा. The first stamp that he gave was, you have understood Gita. You know, second thing, what happened? Eta bali sei vipra kaila alingana prabhupada dhari vipra karena rodhana. Lord, looking at his wonderful devotion, he embraced him. And this person, he was already ecstatic. He fell at the feet of the Lord. Holding the feet of the Lord, he was crying and weeping, offering prayers. This is success of life. When Bhishma Dev was leaving his body, only thing that he was doing was, his entire consciousness was just focused on that beautiful form of the Lord. And that first canto, 9th chapter, last few shlokas describe how Bhishma Dev left his body. And in that it's very clear, just by meditating on that beautiful form of the Lord, Bhishma Dev gave up this body and entered the eternal realm, the eternal spiritual planets. So this is what is success of life. And this Brahmana has taught us these various different things. Various different things which we can implement in our day-to-day life to enhance our devotional service. So let's quickly revise and end today's class. First, what all things we saw in sequence? First, when we go to a temple, what are we supposed to do? Sit and chant, glorify the Lord. Yes, blissfully glorify the Lord. First one. After that,
we should sit in the temple if there is bhajan and kirtanam.
Okay, so that's part of the first one itself, what we discussed. What else? So when Vipra was chanting Ashuddha Gita, no, Ashuddha way, probably improper pronunciation, then Bhav is important, yes.
Guru's instruction.
That will come next. But when everyone was laughing, was Brahmana affected?
No, so
he was completely absorbed in doing his sadhana. And another very important thing is that people might oppose, people might speak ill about whatever activities we are doing. We should be least bothered and just continue. Ignore and just continue. Yes. And absorption in sadhana is the key to advancement. Ye to kabhi nahi bhulna. And the next thing is, when he was happily reciting the Gita, who was pleased? God was pleased. And since God was pleased, he became more pleased. This is the fact of devotional service. And finally, how should Guru's instruction be taken as? Once life and soul. We see Prabhupada's example like that. It was life and soul for Prabhupada. And this person also, improperly reciting, properly reciting, koi baat nahi. Guru agya mani. My Guru has given instructions, so I should do it. And then finally we see that what is the success of understanding Gita? When can we say the person has understood Gita? When we understand the truth about the Lord. Yes. That person has clearly understood Gita. And like this, every day when we keep doing sadhana, we are recording the video in our mind. And at the time of death, we will have the power to press the button called replay. And when that replay is happening, looking at that video that is replayed, we give up our last breath, and that is success of our life. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.